Bowers & Wilkins is one of the most world-renowned speaker companies on the planet. You'll find their speakers in recording studios and mixing facilities around the world. The BBC, Abbey Road, and Skywalker Ranch are just a few of the places that rely on their truthful sound. B&W also spends more on R&D than any speaker company we know of, with a huge facility in Steyning, England, home to a big team of engineers and all kinds of exotic speaker measuring equipment. The real beauty of B&W for the vast majority of music lovers comes from their trickle-down technology from their $30,000 plus speakers. Now let's get started with today's review of Bowers & Wilkins' brand new 600 Series Anniversary Edition. The 600 series from B&W has actually been around in one form or another for decades. We've always felt this series was one heck of a great value, offering honest, true sound for a modest price. This new and improved Anniversary Series celebrates 25 years of the 600 Series line. This new 600 Series Anniversary Edition offers 2 bookshelf speakers, a tower speaker, and a matching center channel. All of these employ technology in the speaker components that just a few years ago could only be found in their $6,000 up pair speakers. Similar to the new 700S2 series, with the new 600 Anniversary Series Edition, B&W has added even more trickle-down tech from their top-of-the-line 800 series, with the most serious improvements to the crossovers. You can now get even more of the similar technology from the 800 series speakers, starting at $700 a pair, almost 1/10 the price of where the 800 series starts. While you don't get the beautiful matching wood veneer curved cabinets of the 800 series that take almost 100 hours to create, you do get superb sound quality for a great price, which is where the 600 series is squarely positioned. First, let's talk about some of the great speaker technologies all of the new 600 series Anniversary Edition models share. B&W had used Kevlar for decades in its mid-range speaker drivers in the 800 series. Their engineering team was given the task of inventing a better material that would offer significant improvements over their Kevlar drivers. It took over 8 years, but they came up with a new material called Continuum. Continuum was totally developed by B&W and is only found in their speakers. When I first heard it in the new 800 series, I was super impressed. The improvement in mid-range transparency was stunning. Continuum, when used in a mid-range driver, does not need the typical surround you see in most mid-range speakers, which contributes a lot to this new level of openness. Another factor is a great reduction in distortion. If you ever get a chance to visit their R&D facility in Steyning, England, you'll see all kinds of lasers used to analyze speaker cone distortion. They use this high tech in the development of Continuum, which is now part of the 600 series. Many years ago, B&W invented a tapered tube that sits behind the tweeter. In the original 800 models, it sits proudly on top of the speaker. As years have passed, this design has been refined, and in the 600 Anniversary Edition, it shows up as their decoupled double dome. If you were to take the tweeter apart, you would see this is a very accurate description of the tweeter. The combination of the decoupled dome and the tapered tweeter tube for the rear wave of the tweeter result in a tweeter that can extend out far beyond most tweeters on the market before any distortion or breakup occurs. The range actually goes out to 38 kilohertz, which is twice as high as anyone can even hear. The sonic improvement is a more open top end that is very smooth and sweet with never a hint of harshness. Okay, so I want to break out here for a second and just show you a couple of cool things about the speaker itself. So first, they've got great hidden magnetic grill cover here, so you literally don't see anything attaching it, which gives you the ability to obviously have a really nice, look with the grill on, take the grill off. My own preference here is this one. A couple other little things about it. They really worked hard to make inert cabinets here. So if you go over to Steyning, England, they spent a lot of time with laser measurements and everything else trying to figure out how do we make a really dead box. So if you wrap on this thing, it is incredibly solid for the money. This is about a 1/2 inch composite material that they use with a sort of matte finish on it. And you'll see, actually, if you looked really, really closely, it actually says Anniversary Edition on the bezel going around the tweeter here. So I want to show you a couple other small little things. I'm going to spin this around here, and let's look at the back for a second. Two things I want to talk about here. One is in terms of bass. If you're getting too much bass out of them, these speakers actually come with two different pieces of foam for each speaker. You can literally, if you got a little bit too much bass coming out in the room, put in the first ring version. If it's still too much, they have another insert that can go in there as well to fully cover that up. The other thing you get with this is two different sets of binding posts, which is really cool because what it means is that you can actually bi-wire these suckers, and you can take these binding posts off, bi-wire them, or leave the binding posts on and have them single wired, which is pretty great as well. In the new 600 series anniversary speakers, the crossover boards have been upgraded to a multi-layer, much higher quality circuit board from the previous version. The capacitors have also been changed from stock models to a special Vivendi metallized polypropylene film capacitor. Much, much better. The crossover is somewhat like the conductor of an orchestra, as it decides which frequencies go where and how loud they play. It is an invisible part of any speaker, but super, super critical. The upgrades to the new 600 series filter down directly from the crossovers developed for the 700 S2 Signature series B&W recently released. Another technology found in all the new 600s is B&W's flow port system. The way the air escapes the speaker cabinet can have a pretty big impact on the sound and how you must position the speaker for best performance. B&W has been addressing this for years by analyzing designs to come up with the type of port that gives you the best performance. The port used in the 600 series uses their patented flow port system, which just like Continuum was originally designed for their 800 series. The 600 series Anniversary Edition offers three beautiful cabinet finishes. You get black, the matte white I've got here, which comes with a gray grille, and oak, which also comes with a gray grille. B&W has stepped up the quality of the cabinet finish on the new Anniversary series versus the prior 600s. The oak finish is especially stunning. If you have a contemporary home, the matte white you see here will look fantastic in that environment. Now I want to walk you through the difference in the speakers in the lineup. The 607 S2 Anniversary Edition is the smallest model in the new series. Here we have the Continuum driver material used for a combination mid-range bass driver that is 5" in diameter. The 607 is about 12 inches tall by 6.5 wide and about 8 inches deep. Amazingly, the 6 dB down point for the bass is 40 Hz, which is astounding for a speaker this size. The port is on the rear, but if you put them on a typical 12-inch deep bookcase, you will be okay with the distance the port is off the back wall. For better performance, I recommend using the Stav 24 stands. This is a very solid stand from B&W that will put them at an ideal height and sells for about $150 a pair. Their efficiency rating is 84 dB, which is a tad low. A good amp like a Rotel or Cambridge will do very nicely to bring them to life. If you're not sure if your amp has enough power for these, go to audiodevice.com and chat or call us or stop by one of our showrooms. The 607 has a very extended yet smooth top end. Bass is stunning for the size, and if you position them properly, they will throw out a huge image. It's really interesting how you can hear every nuance of the treble with never a sense of harshness. You'll be able to pick out bass lines very easily too, as these never blur things together. My only complaint is in the area of dynamics. While the sound is beautiful, it does not come to life on big dynamic swings like the next step up, the 606. So I've actually got the 606s here with me now. As you can see, I was actually doing some listening tests on them with a Mark Levinson stack. And I've got to tell you, these are some of the best bookshelf speakers in this price point I've ever heard in my life. I mean, they are really quite amazing. I actually listened to them with the B&W Signature playlist on Qobuz. So if you're looking for a cool playlist to test your music or just hear great music on, go over to Qobuz, listen to the B&W Signature Series playlist. But I will tell you, just listening and tests, if you've got a decent amp on them, these 606s really rock. Like the 607, the 606 is a two-way design, but steps up to a 6-inch Continuum mid-range bass driver. The cabinet is slightly larger at 13.5 inches high, 7.5 wide, and almost 12 inches deep. Just like the 607s, they will sound best on B&W Stav 24 stands and pulled out a little bit from the wall and towed in a little bit. Efficiency is greatly increased on the 606 compared to the 607. I still like to see a good amp driving them, as they will really come to life when you supply them with great power. The sound is very similar to the 607 in terms of tonal quality, with an extended lower end. What you get, though, in dynamic improvement is not subtle. The sound explodes into the room on big passages, drawing you further into the music. The combination of the extended bass and improved dynamics, in my opinion, makes them well worth the extra $200 for the pair. Having the extra low end also makes them sound even smoother and sweeter across the musical spectrum. And just like the 607, if you spend some time positioning them, you'll get a big three-dimensional image. The 603 S2 Anniversary Edition is the floor-standing speaker in the new 600 series. While $2,000 is not a small amount of money, we think the new 603 betters all of the speakers B&W has made in the past in the previous CM and older 700 series, some of them costing $4,000 a pair or more. The new materials used in this series really shines in the 603. The Continuum driver is used in the mid-range just as it is in the top-of-the-line 800 series. With it not having to produce any bass, the jump up in sound quality is substantial. The top end is handled with the same tweeter used in the other two models. B&W adds two dual 6.5-inch woofers for outstanding deep bass. We love the plinth included with the 603. This is a large bass you attach to the bottom of the speaker that greatly increases its stability. On the plinth, they stand about 41.5 inches tall, but are about the same width and depth as the 606. At Audio Advice, we love to test things to the limit. So if you put these on a great amp like the Macintosh MA5300 integrated amp, they will shine. They are capable of revealing everything about the incoming signal and will get better and better as you improve the front end. However, you can run them very well on a modest home theater receiver, as they're fairly efficient at 88.5 dB. When you sit down and listen to the 603s on a good setup, they will totally disappear and present a big, full sound that simply draws you in. The mid-range on these is by far the best of the new 600 series, with an effortless sound that reminds me of the 17,000 B&W 802 D3s. Dynamics are fantastic, and these two dual woofers deliver tight, fast bass. I actually think B&W made these too good, as they are really close to the much more expensive 703 S2. Although the new 700 series does have a sweeter tweeter, but there is no question this is one of the best tower speakers you can get for $2,000 a pair, besting many more expensive speakers. The HTM6 is the matching center channel speaker for the new 600 series. In home theater, by far and away, the most important speaker is the center channel. If you cannot understand the dialogue of a movie, the enjoyment is just not there. I love the way B&W used perfectly matched speaker drivers for the HTM6. It has the same tweeters used in all the models and two of the 5-inch Continuum mid-range bass drivers. At only 10-inch deep, it should fit easily into most systems, although it is pretty wide at 18 inches to hold that great driver complement. When listening to movie soundtracks that pan from left to center to right, it is perfectly matched up with the other 600 speakers, which is exactly what a center channel should do. But the big win comes in the Continuum driver used for the mid-range. If you set this up right, you will hear all kinds of subtle nuances in the dialogue track. A movie really draws you in when you can sense the emotion in the performers' voices, and the HTM6 shines in this regard. The new Continuum drivers do a remarkable job on the human voice. It also has the ability to handle those center channel explosions without showing signs of straining. The HTM6 Anniversary Edition is the best under $1,200 center speaker ever from B&W. If you are getting these for home theater, be sure to jump over to the videos and reviews section at audioadvice.com, where we've got a great article on setting up your center channel correctly for maximum performance, along with hundreds of other buyer's guides, setup videos, and reviews. Or If you're designing your theater, you can go to our home theater section and see where you would put each speaker in the Audio Device Interactive 3D Home Theater Design Tool that will show you the exact location of every speaker for best acoustic performance. If you want more information on the new 600 Series Anniversary Edition, click on the link in the description to see our written review, which also includes good, better, and best home theater setups with this series. If you have any questions about the new 600 series or whether they are right for your situation, give us a call or chat with us at audioadvice.com or stop by our Raleigh or Charlotte showrooms. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time.